Hey, friends. Hey. Hey, y'all. Hey, it's your girl, Coach Tuka. And I want to welcome you to my little corner of these YouTube streets where I pop out every single day at 4 p.m. ish Central Standard Time. So that I have one mission, one purpose, one goal, and that is to walk as many women as I possibly can through the journey of losing weight and looking and feeling their best. So if you are that woman, if you are that kind of woman, if you are my people, and you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, you are sick and tired of looking in the mirror, wondering what in the ham and cheese happened here. Who is this woman looking back at you? Harpo, who is this woman? I want you to know you're in the right place. Not only are you in the right place, I got some good news. It's possible to lose weight without losing your mind. Okay. It is possible to lose weight without having to try all the wild and crazy things you see the people doing on the internet. How you know, Tuka? I'm telling you what I know and not what I read in the book because 5 years ago I was 80 pounds heavier, had absolutely no energy. When I say I was tired, your girl was tired, okay? Had a laundry list. I like that's long, like a lot of things, a long list of ailments and chronic illnesses. I was frustrated, had tried all the things in my heart, wanting change, just did not know where to start. And in the back of my head, while I'm doing all the things, I'm wondering if I'm ever going to be able to feel confident in myself again, if I'm ever going to like what I see in the mirror, and finally, if I'm ever going to get back to being the healthy version of me that I knew that I could be. And I'm telling you, this thing is real because by the grace of God, it was only the grace of God, okay? A whole lot of prayer, a lot of changes to the way I think, some work around mindset, accountability, and redesigning my life. I was able to find my way back to you. So I'm here to tell you, I don't care how far you are, how bad it looks. It is possible, okay? It is possible. Look at me, y'all, with one earring on. It is possible, okay? So now I get the blessed opportunity to help busy women every single day lose the weight for good. And like I said, you ain't got to do no crazy diets or take no pills or no injections that you don't know what's in them, no fast, no craziness. And you don't have to lose yourself while you're doing it. So if this sounds like a party that you would love to attend, then baby, I hope that you are subscribed with your notifications on. Because if you're not, then I want to know what we doing. Okay, hit like, and if anything I say blesses you today, please share it with somebody. When you share it with somebody, YouTube recognizes this as a message that other people need to hear, and we get one woman closer to the mission of helping as many women as possible. Okay, so we have been going through all these standards. We talked about the importance of having a standard, being able to have an identifiable target for your win. So no more of this, I want to lose weight. It's too vague. It's not a target. You really don't know if you hit it or if you didn't. We then went to talk about all the areas where we need to set a standard in. We need a standard in the area of water. We need a sleep standard. We needed a movement standard. We needed did I forget something? Movement, sleep, water, hydration, no water. I'm forgetting some, but we need standards. Okay, so this is the one I know you thought. Hey, Tanisha, I know you thought I was gonna start with this one first. I know you did. I know you was like, Tuka, you didn't gave me all these standards and you ain't said nothing about food. I thought you said food was the most important part. I thought you said if we did all these other things and we didn't address the food, but you ain't said nothing about food, Tuka. I know somebody was thinking it, and that is the one we're gonna talk about today. I saved it for last for a multitude of reasons, and I'm gonna explain to you why. One, because me giving you these standards to set, I feel like they sting a little bit. I intentionally want to step on about at least three of your toes, okay? Because if you will let me just dance on your pinky toe for just 1 minute, I believe you're going to get better. I believe there's a healing for you in it, okay? So here's what I want to tell you about food and why I waited for it last, okay? If you think that I'm about to sit here and give you some sort of meal plan and be like, eat this for breakfast, eat this for lunch, eat this for dinner, the devil is a liar. Yeah, 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 yeah. Baby, the truth is, you not having these struggles because you don't know what to eat. If we're honest with ourselves, you know what to eat, all right? The reason that you do struggle though is because you keep acting like you don't have control, all right? You have convinced yourself that food and what happens with you and food is there's something that you just trip on and fall in, like you just fell in some snake. I mean, some snacks, okay? You have convinced yourself that food happens to you. that your experience with what you put inside your body is something that you don't have control of. It just happens. Okay. You just ended up at Chick-fil-A. All of a sudden, next thing you know, you just found yourself at the Mexican restaurant. You act like you forgot how to eat, and oh my God, no, I am binging and eating way more than I know I should. All right. You have convinced yourself that it's been a very long day. I have worked extremely hard and I deserve a sweet treat. And really, it don't even count because I have worked today. I want you to know these things that keep happening with you. If it's ever happened with you in food, please tell me the truth. But this is not a coincidence, ain't a coinkydink. It's not an accident. This is a pattern. This is the result of your habits. Your habits are simply what you do every day. No matter what you tell yourself you're going to do every day, your habits are what you actually do every day. So if you are going to change, you don't need me to tell you eat more vegetables, add protein. Hey, Michelle, you don't need me to tell you eat protein. You don't need me to tell you stay away from Oreos and Chick-fil-A. Hey, Joyce, you don't need me to tell you that. You don't need me to tell you that. You already know to eat more vegetables. You already know you're not supposed to be sneaking scoops of ice cream about your refrigerator. Some of us don't even sit down, just eat it right at the freezer, okay? You know you don't need that. You know that big bag of M&Ms that's in your car that you keep in your purse. Them, oh man, I was trying to think of what's now laters that you keep in your purse. You know you don't supposed to have them. You don't need me to tell you that. But if you're gonna change, you're gonna have to start acting like a woman, a wild woman with no self-control. So the real standard for your food is not what to eat, because you know that. I will not insult your intelligence. Okay. Now, do we need some refining? All right. You might be doing things. There are some things you might be doing, a couple of little baby things uh that are messing you up. Okay. There might be some things that you think are healthy for you, and come to find out these are the things that are working against you. But I promise you that's not the reason you're struggling. The reason you're struggling is not because you don't know you need to eat vegetables every day. You know that. Your mama been telling you that since you was knee high to the waist. You've been doing that. All right. So the new standard is we gonna stop acting like wild women. Okay. Women with no self-control. All right. That's dangerous. A woman with no self-control is dangerous. Just said, eating it right out the freezer, baby. Just we ain't got time to sit down. We own it. All right. You don't need me to tell you, you don't need no bread. You don't need me to tell me, you don't need me to tell you that. You don't need me to tell you that. Okay. So the new standard is we're gonna stop eating like a woman who has no self-control, and we're gonna start eating like we daughters of the king. We're gonna start eating like we are father's daughters. We're gonna start being intentional about what we eat. We're gonna start eating with authority. Okay, like bosses. We're gonna start eating with some discipline. Okay. So food is important. Please don't get me wrong. Food is important. But here's what I need you to know. Food is a spiritual issue too. This is not about your carbs. This is not about your sugar. This is about the standard that you've set for yourself. This is about the standard and the habits that you've allowed to become the thing that you do every single day. All right? Because food for you is not just, it's not, we don't only use it for what it was intended for. Food's intention was to be fuel, energy for our body. All right? Food is a discipline. Okay? And every time you eat, you either feed the version of yourself that is, baby, out here hanging by a thread, running around with no structure, no discipline, no standard, just getting by, just making it. You're either feeding that version of you, or you are creating a version of you that walks in the authority that God gave you. You're creating a version of you that manages what God gave you, this one body. Because we don't get no do-overs. We don't get no do-overs. Right? When we have to give an account to him about this body, well, for some of us, it could come sooner rather than later. But we just get one. There's no like new body. Okay. So the reason you keep eating things that aren't good for you, that don't help you, that don't help you get what you want, that don't fuel your body, that don't help you manage this one body well, the reason you keep doing that is not because you don't know what to eat. It is because you keep excusing yourself from choosing what you already know. In a lot of ways, some of us are addicted to how it feels. All right, we are addicted to the feeling that we get from food, not what function food helps us to create. Let me explain. For some of us, we are addicted to the feeling we get when we eat sugar to deal with our stress. You have made sugar, cookies, ice cream, cake, how you deal with stress. All right. We survive or get by on caffeine. All right. We have created, made snacking the way that we just kind of wind down a little bit. Okay. How we take a load off for the day with some snacks and some sugar. And now you've done it so long, these cravings seem normal. Let me tell you how I know I remember. Thank you, Lord, for deliverance. I remember, I've told the story before. My son, when I started this journey, my baby, he was 5 years old. Okay. So this is 5 years of his life where, he get a year off because we wasn't doing this in the beginning. I was a nursing mother. Okay. So he was breastfed. And so there's 4 years of me and you. Okay. Developing a habit that looked like every evening, he look at me, I look at him. And we got that look in our eyes because we both know what it means. You know what I'm saying? It means, you thinking what I'm thinking? Yes, I am. Which ones you want? Double stuff or lemon. Okay? That was a part of our pattern, our habit of what we actually did every day, to the point that it seemed normal. It became how we function. It became the norm. So, along with that, we got stuck along the way somewhere. Instead of eating food that actually helps our body do what it needs to do, we in this cycle of getting comfort from food. It's like a little security blanket. It's just how we kind of end these days. This is how we wrap up the days. All right. And so you get stuck there. You really get stuck there until you do something that breaks this cycle of how you use food. And it doesn't happen overnight. All right. But if you don't acknowledge the thing and address the thing, you can't cast it out. You can't get rid of it. It stays your norm. All right. So I need you to take note of those moments because you don't need another like start over. Okay. We don't need to eat the cookies and be like, all right, now. We gonna act right now. We back. We lost our mind temporarily and we back. Okay. What you need is a standard and you need to honor the standard you set. All right. So here's what we're going to do first to turn this thing around. All right. I need you to make a decision and I need you to make it from a place of authority about what has to go, like for real. Some of us, we play too much. Okay. We play too much. Like we act like the Oreos don't really just got us like they got us. We act like the coffee addiction like ain't that bad. You got some things you doing and you know what these things do to you. You knew when you was in the store and you brought it home and you told yourself a story about who it was for and how you were going to handle it this time, only for it to end up the same way you handle it every single time because we play too much. We play too much. So I need you to quit playing. Stop playing. Okay? Quit playing. Quit playing with the things that are keeping you from moving forward. So let me explain. I will not sit here and tell you that I'm never going to have an Oreo cookie in my life again. Okay. It's not a part of my regular meal plan or meal consumption. But to say I will never eat another Oreo cookie again in my life, I ain't finna do that. Okay. I will say I can go the rest of my natural life without having Chick-fil-A. Honest to God. Okay. Honest to God. Don't ever have to have it. Cool without it. Okay. But what I'm saying is, you got to tell the truth. I had a relationship with Oreo cookies that started when I was 16 years old. Like, these are the types of things my mama was like, no, you can't. Who else mama did that? It's Kilgan. And baby, when I got me a job, I was like, can't nobody tell me nothing. Okay. You can't tell me nothing. I got my own money. I got a whole job making $5.25 an hour at McDonald's. Okay. $5.25. The year was I think, let me see, I had that to be 1993. Okay. 1993. I'm working at McDonald's. Okay, making $5.25. Wow. And I got my own money, so I can get my own Oreos. So I've been with Oreos. What I'm trying to say, the point I'm trying to make is I've been with Oreos long enough to know how me and Oreos do, because we didn't done what we do for a very long time. We ain't just start doing what we do. When I got my baby, when I became a mother. We've been doing this since 1993. Okay. Since 1993, okay, we get a fresh pack of Oreos. And you know what we do? We start in the middle. Dead smack in the middle. Middle aisle, middle cookie. And we work our way out. We've been doing this since 1993. So what I look like being in the store lying to myself like, I'm just going to eat like 4 cookies. Lies you tell, I ain't never did that since 1993. I've never done it. I know how it goes with me and a family size pack of double stuffed Oreos. I know how this story ends. So why lie to me and say, we're not going to do that? All of a sudden, we're not going to do that. Set up. Okay. So this is the season that whatever your thing is, Oreos, it was for me. Ice cream, it was for me. You have to say, in this season, it has to go in real life. Like, it has to be removed. It has to be erased. I cannot have it. Why? So that I can have a new relationship. So I can replace the relationship that I created since 1993. Today, me and Oreos have a different relationship. Today. But before I could get there, I had to say, baby, no. In this season, Oreos, you can't come. And so then what happens is our relationship has changed. I don't use them the same way I used to. I was about to say I don't need them the way I used to. I really don't. All right. So I don't know what it is for you. Maybe it's drinking your coffee before you even give your body any nourishment. You want some energy and you getting it from the coffee, not nutrients. Okay. I don't know. Is that the thing that needs to go so you can be made new, so you can get a new relationship, so you can get new habits? Or is it running through these people drive-through? I just got to a season where I had to realize, like, baby, if you're not making it, okay, don't you trust these folks, okay? Don't. And I'm not even on no, like, sanitation. I'm not even on, like, don't trust them because sanitary reasons. I'm saying if you didn't make it and slap that thing together, you don't know what's going on and how your body's going to respond. So stop eating food out these people's window. I can't tell you the last time I went through somebody's drive-through. I can't tell you. It's not my norm. But there was a season. Yeah, I have heard, because I ain't been to Wendy's in at least 5 years. Okay. But I heard my little jam that I used to get the 4 for $4. I'm gonna tell you how it went, y'all. I had a family of, I was raising one of my nieces at the time. So I had a family of 5. And honey, we go through and feed everybody for $25. Okay, we get the extra one. Okay, we get another one, $25, $30, whole family fed. It was a 4 for 4. Okay, you winning, honey. You got the drink, the fries, the burger, and the nuggets. Psh, what else you need? What else you need? I stayed in these people drive through. And every time you pull up, you got a reason why it's okay for you to be there. Mine was I'm busy. I can't cook nothing. I got a lot going on. My schedule is scheduling. My life is lifing. These kids is kidding. And I'm out of here in these mama streets trying to feed people. And I ain't got time to be in the kitchen. So maybe that's the thing that has to go for you. Maybe it's the drive-through excuses. All right. Maybe it's the late night bowing down at the Oreo or whatever your sweet treat is outer. Okay. Maybe it's that. You know, the little romance you have every night with the cookies. It was like a romance, y'all. Me and my son be right. We be sitting on that couch and just have a whole conversation. Like, okay. And we knew that meant lemon and double stuff. Both. Get both and some milk. Bring it to me. Let's get busy. Okay. And okay, so maybe that's the thing that has to go for you. Y'all. I repent for what I have done with this because out of all of my children, my son is the one with the sweetest tooth. And I did that. I did that. I taught it to him directly. So imagine coming back years later trying to reverse it and fight it and work. Okay, that I created it. So I have to undo it. All right. Maybe it's eating, maybe you eating on the go all the time. You eating, driving with your knees and eating, you don't sit down nowhere and then just enjoy your food. All right. Maybe it's eating snacks when you just really trying to keep from feeling whatever it is you're feeling. I don't know what it is. But in this season, I need you to make a decision about what has to go, what you're gonna stop playing about. What's the thing you ain't gonna play with no more and act like this thing is not a thing for you? All right, we're gonna call a thing a thing. And in this season, the thing has to go. All right. Next thing I want you to do is I want you to create a baseline for your eating, not a diet. Okay, we're gonna call it a like a baseline, like a default way of being. All right, new eating habits, not a trend. So we're not gonna be eating like the army diet and all this stuff. But I want you to think about what will be your target per se that you will use your food to get. For some of us, it may be getting our hormones balanced, right? For some of us, it's getting energy. For some of us, it's stabilizing our blood sugar. For some of us, it's eating to actually be full and have clarity of thoughts. All right. So that means, okay, you're going to have protein with all your meals. You're going to have some vegetables every single day with all your meals. All right. You're going to have to stop the grazing. You have to drink a little bit before you eat. Okay. Stop the snacking. All right. Eat intentionally, eat real food, not little things you grab and nibble on all the time. What is going to be the baseline? All right. I use a strategy called the simple plate. All right. Where I give you ratios for the protein, for the vegetables, and every now and again, you can throw what I call a smart carb in there. All right. That's the food baseline. All right. You can get that in my free community. All right. Then I want you to pick one. Because here's what I know about food and those of us who work to manage or steward our weights. Um, the root of some of this is we don't have boundaries. Some of us don't have boundaries with people. Some of us don't have boundaries with ourselves. And some of us don't have boundaries with food. Boundaries sound bad. I need a new word, okay? But boundaries are just guidelines, just limits where you say, okay, this right here is as wild as it's going to get. This is as far as we going to go. This is where it stops. It's a standard. So I need you to create one and I need you to make it a non-negotiable and do it for every meal. So maybe the boundary is I don't eat after 8 o'clock. Okay, Michelle, I'll get it to you. I'll get it to you. I have it. I gotta find it. Yeah, but it's simple plate, okay? And I got a little cheat sheet in there. So all you gotta do is just go down and pick from each category what you want to eat and make the plate. That's it, okay? So maybe the boundary is I stop eating at 8 p.m. no matter what, or I don't eat after 7 or 6 or however many hours before bed. I always eat vegetables with every meal. I will always sit down to eat, even if it's just a snack. I will nourish my body before I have coffee. All right. Coffee is off the table. And this is not about you being perfect or whooping yourself or being a Pharisee per se. It's about you training your body and your mind to do what you say we're doing. Follow me, not this craving, not this flesh. Follow the standard, not what we want, not the craving. Okay. So, one of my favorite scriptures when I think about self control is Proverbs 25, I think, where it says, a person without self control is like a city with broken down walls. I remember the first time I read that, I said, my God, today. So some of us are like a city. Like if you've ever studied, like paid attention in history class, one of the things to establishing dominion or control over a place is you have to create some boundaries, some walls, something that separates you, defends you, like a defense from you and the outside. So some of us are operating like a city. We don't have self-control and we are a defenseless city. We're like a city with no defenses. So that means we're open to all sorts of attacks because we have no self control. So here's what that means it means you can build all the routines, the workouts, you can prep all the meals. And if you don't have a standard for how you eat, you are open for the enemy is like, baby, yes, we can just walk up in. It would be the equivalent of you living in a neighborhood where you know there's a neighborhood thief who will come in your house when the door is locked and you just choose to leave the door wide open. All right. You're very vulnerable, exposed, and you have no defenses against any attacks. All right. So, what I pray you get from me is that you have like God got too much work for you to do. Your assignment, your purpose, your calling is too important to keep living like somebody who can't tell yourself no, to keep living like somebody who's open to every attack, who has no defenses. I read once, I do not like to say things without giving credit, but I read somewhere where it talked about, this might have been it was even Boundaries of Ruth, I don't know, in some book, but it talked about how we have boundaries in the world, like the saying, no, this far as I'm supposed to go, and then it's the ocean, right? And when the boundaries are crossed, it's chaotic. Okay. When the boundaries are crossed, it's chaotic. So when you don't have a standard, that's what it looks like in our life. And you don't fix that with a detox. You don't fix that with Ozempic. You don't fix that with another diet. You don't fix that with some pill situation, some juice fast. Okay. You don't fix it with that. You need discipline, not the kind your mama used to give you, but yeah, the kind your mama used to give you. Okay? Because you're getting whooped anyway. Okay? You're getting a whooping anyway. All right? So I'm not saying this to shame you. I'm saying like we need to discipline ourselves from a place of like freedom. We need to take our position. We need to take our position. So today I'm not asking you to have more willpower. I'm not asking you to keep fighting against yourself. I am asking you to, one, submit the way you eat to your father so that he can help you become the woman that he wants you to be. And so many of us are submitting our eating habits to our emotions, to our feelings, to our schedules, to what everybody else is doing. and it has no intentionality around it. This one even in my notes, but today I was reading try to find my other notes from this morning. I need to be quicker at this. Today I was reading 2 Corinthians. Chapter 7, verse, it was supposed to be verse 1 through 16, but I never got past verses 1 and 2. And let me get the actual wording. Hold on, y'all. All right, I'm gonna read NIV because that's what I was comparing. King James sometimes. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you, this is my new strategy. Y'all see this? The split screen on the blue letter Bible. Everything, okay? So King James says, having therefore these promises, dearly beloved, let us cleanse ourselves from all. Paul said, let us cleanse ourselves from all filthiness of the flesh and spirit. All right, perfecting holiness in the fear of God. Receive us. We have wronged no man. We have corrupted no man. We have defrauded no man. So NIV says, therefore, since we have these promises, so it's a continuation of chapter 6, where essentially Paul was saying when we come out from among them and we set ourselves apart from the world in the way we think, we grow in relationship with God. And so essentially it was saying, let us purify ourselves from everything that contaminates our body and our spirit. And somehow we don't think the way we eat, the water we do or don't drink, the sleep we do or do not get, the exercise we do or do not do, the standards that we set as it become a body, somehow we don't think this got nothing to do with the filthiness of the flesh and spirit. Somehow we think they unrelated. But these are promises that you can hold God to. So the promise is if we come out from among them, meaning stop doing it like the world does it, and be willing to be separate. So this whole like doing it like what you see on the internet, therein lies the problem. Because holiness, it requires separate. It's separate. It's set apart. Not saying you better than, but it's different. It looks different. So we can't afford to do what we see everybody else doing. And my favorite part said, God will receive us and we are promised a closer relationship with him. So in short, what I'm saying is there's no way you can do any of this. There's no way to do any of this without submitting any of these standards before him. And it's his desire for us that we have a standard, okay? Because without the standards, you're allowing things to happen to you, and you're not being the person who manages the body, the health, the mind, all the things that he gave, mobility. That's the work. So I'm saying submit your eating habits to your Father so he can do the work in you to become what he wanted you to become anyway. So if you are ready to stop acting like you don't know what to do, because you know what to do. You know what to do. You know when you're doing the things you shouldn't do. I knew good and doggone well when I was driving through Wendy's getting a 4 for 4 multiple days a week. Didn't nobody have to tell me that was wrong. I just made an excuse that made it okay. Because I didn't know what I knew about stewardship. I did not know. I was a little baby Christian. I didn't know what I knew about stewardship. I know a lot about stewardship now. Okay. So if you're ready to finally walk it out with a group of women who are building something, join us inside Ready Set Habits. It's free. It's full of support. It's built for women who are ready to quit playing. All right. I absolutely love you to life. I really do. I love you enough, honey, to get my bed out and whoop you until you are well beyond the way. All right. Because I ain't coming for you, but I'm coming for you. I'm coming to get you because I've been there and I know it's not like fighting your way out. It's work now. Okay. You're going to change some things. You're going to do some praying and some fasting and some asking the Lord for direction, but it's doable. And I know you're capable. I do know that. If we invite him, it's really close to impossible with that. Okay. No matter how hard we try. All right, guys, listen, I absolutely love y'all to life. I have no idea where I'm going next. I don't. I have no idea. I've been trying to keep the same theme for a week. I don't know. Tomorrow, when I wake up, the Lord will give me something. Okay. I don't know what we're doing next, but be here for it and bring your friends. I love you to life. I will see you tomorrow in the same place and at the same time. Have an amazing, amazing evening.